We've been missing a Digimon anime for a while now, with Ghost Game ending in March of 2023. Digimon Beatbreak premiered on October 5th, and boy is it off to a fast start. So much is happening in episode 1 already that it raises so many questions about its world and history that should be very exciting to explore, so long as it actually gets around to answering them. Currently available on both Crunchyroll and Hulu, we can start to dive into a brand new season and world for Digimon. How fast-paced this episode is, let's dive right into the episode rundown. Even the intro has so much going on, I might just cover that in its own video, so we'll pick up right where the episode truly starts. We start by seeing a thermal camera scanning an area. Chirrupmon appears to be the one guiding the search, as Makoto can see through the headset likely a similar display. It appears to be a man with a fun beammon. Everyone involved seems to be in some kind of digital space, clearly nothing like the human world or city. The two humans have a quick argument of whether to wait for Kyo as they are supposed to, but Reina jumps in like the Marcus type she seems to be. So instead of immediately engaging in a fight, she pulls out her Sapotama and injects her E-Pulse into it. A prominent pink square appears on her hand as the egg glows pink. She throws it up to Pristimon to eat it, causing it to digivolve. 1 minute into the season, we already have Wolvermon. With the square still glowing on her hand, they charge in to engage with both Reina and Wolvermon, seem just fine with blasting at both Fun Beammon and its partner, no problem. Fun Beammon is quick and able to land a solid blow on Wolvermon, which knocks it slamming into the ground. Supposedly the man used E-Pulse to empower the move so the rookie could do more damage to the champion. They utilize Plan B, as she calls it, which involves Wolvermon distracting while Chirrupmon briefly stuns the human with its paralyzed echo. Again, showing that humans are vulnerable and likely targeted by more to come in this season. The man's name is Mitsuo Minizaki, who stole many watches from a watch store. He calls our protagonist pair cleaners. Using a smoke bomb, Mitsuo gains the opportunity for Fun Beammon to spit out the Sapotama and for him to use it to digivolve into Waspmon. Waspmon immediately starts shooting for the humans, making Wolvermon get hit to save Reina. It is intense as Mitsuo tells them, "Don't insult me by begging for your life," laying down a very intense atmosphere for this episode and likely season to come. As they seem in trouble, a deep voice replies with, "Allow me to return that line to you." As Murasumemon slashes his way into this digital space by tearing a rift in the air with his sword. In seconds, he leaps for the Waspmon and defeats it in a single slice, where the Sapotama pops out, and Waspmon reverts back to a baby Pupumon. We get our first sense of who Kyo is, as apparently he got hungry on the way and was trying to find a convenience store. The thief recognizes him as a member of the Glowing Dawn. When he turns to face the man, Kyo gets darker and more serious when it comes to asking about his family and their safety. After Mitsuo fails to blame Waspmon for the hostile actions, Kyo tells him he is going to the Ministry of Civil Protection, where Mitsuo's reaction is so visceral, it is like this place is as good as, or not even worse than, death. But then, we see the title card for episode 1, Beat of Emotions. We now can take a little breather as things slow down for a bit of world building. Mostly about these very important egg devices, the Sapotama. It uses an alarm clock, a sleep monitor, bouncing alongside a jogger, hyping her up. It orders food for you based on your dietary needs. It checks weather. It is a texting device. It chats stocks. It streams sports and chat. It really is a smartphone plus for most people. It's been around so long in this world that there are 16 versions of the device. We then see a new girl, Hitomi, who is late waking up for school. The E-Pulse is low, most likely because she doesn't touch the top of it, as she is in a rush. Though interspersed with this, we see our main protagonist, Tomura, listening to music on his headphones and hitting railings in time with his drumsticks. In the background, though, we see buildings that are tilted and flooded in the background, where the area that he's walking seems fairly nice. When Hitomi gets to school, the Sapotama's battery is dead, so she can't even get into school. She gets pushed aside, and the Sapotama goes flying. Passing by at that moment is Tomura, who catches it. The crackle of electricity or E-Pulse, it is charged, so he can give it back. Now, is it unusual for him to be able to fully charge it with a single touch? We know people can charge it with it, but is this in itself unusual? Again, all the more questions that will come up in this episode that I hope we'll get answers to moving forward. The device registers as her when she gets into school, but things are clearly off. She got talk marks on a test. She seems quite surprised by it. It orders way too much food for her when she goes to a restaurant, and her bank account is apparently empty? Her Sapotama is able to track him down, but he explains that Sapotamas can glitch when he touches them. Maybe because of his E-Pulse? But he doesn't seem sure. If he can control these glitches, he'd be living in one of those large egg-shaped buildings. At least one of them appears to be called Shangri-La Egg. I'm sure these will be much more important and coming up more later. As has already been stated multiple times in the episode, Hitomi talks about the Sapotama making her my ideal self. Where Tomoro is clearly different and just wants to bang away with his drumsticks all day instead. But as Tomoro returns home, he sees a note from his apparent brother, Asuka, saying he will be home late again and dinner's in the fridge. While the Sapotama handles heating his food, he's banging away with chopsticks as we get a picture of what appears to be his family. With a quiet atmosphere and lack of their presence, it appears that the mother and father are gone. We get a quick flashback of him playing a drum set with what seems to be a band. He wants to be as good as his brother, but the rest of the band tell him to listen to his own beat. He doesn't have to be the same as his brother. Turns out it was a dream as Tomoro fell asleep on the kitchen table, likely a flashback. His brother returns home early to tell him something is important. Loading up the news, there is a report on about the Ministry of Civil Protection, the same name that struck fear into the watch thief, has reported an incident of cold heart. The victim is the same Hitomi from earlier. After Tomoro explains what happened to Asuka, he says they must have picked up on Tomoro's scent. Who they are is kept purposefully unclear to us. Asuka just wants to protect him, but Tomoro is frustrated and knows he's hiding something. He's not normal. He's an adult now and should know the truth, even though he won't eat his broccoli. First, Bro promises to tell him when he gets back.
Not a great plan.
Oh, this always ends well. It is definitely a trope that happens, so I'm sure nothing bad will possibly happen to make that explanation not happen, right? As Tomoro is sulking, he mentions cold heart, so his Sapotama searches for it. Apparently it is a freezing phenomenon caused by low E-pulse with mysterious origins. Many claim to see a mysterious monster when it occurs. It keeps rambling, so he gets angry and grabs it while yelling at it. His E-pulse triggers and shocks it, causing it to roll about with an error before soon after switching over to read Digimon. Then bursting forth in golden light is, ever so briefly, a fresh stage and an in-training stage in silhouette, before forming a solid figure and color of Gekomon. Here is where we cut to commercial. And since I'm not cool enough to have a sponsor section here, this is just a quick hello. My name is Rordrik. I cover all things Digimon. Don't want me to end up with a case of cold heart? Why don't you like this video and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any more Digimon news. Okay, back to the episode. Tomoro is understandably freaking out while Gekomon says hi to Tomoro, already knowing his name. Gekomon, already showing off, is quite nimble in jumping around. Tomoro tries to stay away. He bumps a shelf and what appears to be cassette tapes fall onto his head. I get the music theme, but cassette tapes when the year is 2050 in this world? I feel like those have some importance, but maybe I could be wrong. As with two Digimon we've already seen so far, Gekomon eats the Sapotama he just came from. Tomoro clearly wants it back, as any teenager who lost his phone would show you. Gekomon's hungry for more of Tomoro's E-pulse, so he launches it and bites his arm, causing it to start to freeze. Tomoro pushes back and slams him into the ground to dislodge him. Whether by being in the Sapotama's search history or from the bite, Gekomon seems to know that he's looking for Hitomi, telling Tomoro to follow him as he breaks a window and tongue lashes out into the night. Despite his brother's warning to stay inside, Tomoro races out after him. And chasing the lizard, though, Tomoro encounters another Digimon. A dog-shaped Digimon we will learn later, if you look in the encyclopedia, is named Hayamon, who says Tomoro smells scrumptious. Tomoro logically flees. The Digimon says he wants to feed on E-pulse. As the intro stated, these monsters feed on E-pulse and seem pretty set on getting it. Just as Tomoro seems to about to be caught, Gekomon comes in to kick the dog and save him. Turns out, though, there are two of them, and it is clear that all they want is Tomoro's E-pulse. Even Tomoro isn't ready to trust Gekomon, obviously, as he runs again. Gekomon attempts to stop one of them, but is too weak and gets spun around and knocked out easily. Turns out trying to grab people with your tongue is a powerful move, but also rather vulnerable. Running onto what appears to be a rooftop, Hayamon catches up to Tomoro. This time, instead of Gekomon jumping in to save the day, it is Big Bro's time to shine with a pipe swing to the face. They continue running. It is clear that Asuka knows what Digimon are, has more to explain later once they get away. They run into a rickety area, looking totally different from the other places we saw in the daytime. They have to jump a gap as the path is broken. Tomoro makes it across, but Hayamon catches up and bites onto Asuka's leg as they both dangle precariously. The freezing effect starts crawling up Bro's leg as it starts to drain his E-pulse. He starts to fall, but Tomoro catches him. His brother warns him how Digimon are too strong for humans to fight.
It's fighting time!
He has to leave and run, but Tomoro won't let him go. He doesn't want to be left all alone, his tears falling onto his glasses, which is a nice little touch for any of you that have worn glasses and had water falling onto them or similar effects in rain or the shower. Tsukum tells him he's not alone, and his pulse will shake the world as his eyes glaze over. Now, is he referring to being with Gekomon? He thinks he'll end up with the cleaners? He doesn't get a chance to say. His final words are to believe in your beat before he falls. Tomoro still ends up cornered by another Hayamon, thinking his brother gave his life to save him. But is he really dead? This cold heart kill? Anime characters surviving falls? They love to do that. So many questions. He wants to be stronger to fight back. Suddenly Gekomon returns, falling from the sky as suddenly we see his belly looking quite large. Turns out he's very stretchy, and he swallowed Tomoro? Well, amusing in this instance, I sure hope they actually do some more stuff with that, because you could do some interesting things smuggling things inside a Gekomon. Tomoro is clearly not happy about being in such a position. Gekomon says he can beat these jerks, he just needs his E-Pulse as he is too hungry to fight. While bonding over wanting to get revenge may not be the healthiest start, it is still a powerful one to get him to cooperate. As he gives his E-Pulse into the Sapotama, a bright light emerges from Gekomon, who absolutely decks the Hayamon descendant, flying, almost looking like he was about to tear the thing in half with a punch. As we zoom in on the glowing red eyes of Gekomon standing beside Tomoro as they farm aura, the episode ends. Wow, what a start to Beatbreak, leaving us on a cliffhanger already to help make us excited about the next episode. What happened to make this world so broken and rebuilt on top of it? What is that otherworldly digital space the episode starts in? Do the makers of Sapotama want to use E-Pulse to make more Digimon? Is Cold Heart deadly or just needs some thawing out? All these questions and more hopefully will be answered. Well, so long as this is a well-written story, which, until proven otherwise, I want to believe. Thank you all for watching. I hope you are excited to learn more about Digimon Beatbreak as I am. If you're looking for more talk about Beatbreak, here's my initial reaction to the first trailer. Or if you're looking for more information about how Amazing Time Stranger has been received, I've got a video talking about just how many players are flocking to Digimon. Here.